Keeping the Peace is the Jedi Guardian sourcebook for Fantasy Flight Games' Force and Destiny Star Wars RPG. Of all the standard classes of Jedi, it is the Guardian that I tend to like the most. As usual, I feel Force and Destiny is trapped within its Empire era. It is difficult to really do a proper Jedi with the Empire. They were hunted and stamped out and eradicated. Learning is a far more difficult prospect than it was before. Yes, Rebels added Kanan and Ezra, but Luke never mentioned them at all, so by Empire Strikes Back they could well be dead. I understand why they did it for the series, but in the grand scheme of things, Jedi in the Empire era is a difficult thing. Now if you use Force and Destiny to run an Old Republic or Clone Wars era game, then I think this line of books really comes into its own. Which is one thing I do really like about these books. Even though so far all the information has been Empire era, apart from the Force Awakens beginner game, it doesn't stop you using any class in a different era. As time goes on, I think we will see sourcebooks for all the different time periods, but until then you can do what the GMs have done from the birth of RPGs. You just fudge it. First off, like always, the art in this book is stunning, and it is hard to just pick one as my favourite. The quality of the books overall is amazing. It begins with a short overview of what a Guardian Jedi is, and then Guardians in Star Wars. It's not a bad section and gives some ideas on how they might fit into the larger picture. It is transferable information to any era or time period, but its main focus is still within the Empire. It covers the Outer Rim, core worlds, and the class working alone or together. The background section is a part of each of these books that I really do enjoy. It gives a lot of ideas for the different subclasses of Guardians and how they fit within that concept. There's concepts like Ancient Order, Battlefield Leader, Outlaw Agent, and Wayfarer are all covered. It's solid information on how to add some good ideas to your character. It adds unique moralities for the Guardian, which is cool, but if you didn't have the book at the beginning, it can sometimes be a bit more difficult to make changes later on. There are 3 new races, the Utochi, the Lannic, and the Whipped. The 3 new specializations are the Armourer, who is more mechanical and tech-based, the Warden is probably the most Guardian of the 3 with a focus on justice, and the War Leader, which is around leadership and support. They are all okay, but I found myself leaning towards the base ones in the core book still. There are several new talents, new motivations, and signature abilities for when a character has played a while, as buying into a signature ability is expensive. New gear, though while welcome, it's not specific to a Guardian, and as this is the Guardian Guide, I kind of feel everything in it should be. We have some blasters, one of which was used by Naboo soldiers. It is nice to have stats for that. New brawl and melee weapons, a couple of lightsaber variants and new armour. The armour is very cool, including the Jedi Battle Armour and Temple Guard, but realistically where could you wear them in the Empire game? Some general gear is also available. It's all good, but the gear is now scattered all over the guides, and remembering what and where is now becoming a bigger problem with the amount of gear and books available. Some speeders, including the wheel bike from General Grievous and the VX-10-100, which is the Ghost from Rebels. It's nice to have the base ship included now. The section on having Guardians in the party is useful. It has some solid ideas on how to integrate them into the group and the role that they can play within it. Ideas also include specific Guardian stories and Guardian campaigns. If you're planning on playing a Guardian, it's not a bad book to have. If not, you could pass on it unless you want the extra ships and gear. There are not a ton of pages on gear, but there are some very choice items this time. Overall, I do enjoy the book and it does have its solid uses.